What's going on, folks? Thank you for tuning in. I got that light a little bit bright, but those are not her last words exactly, by the way. Well, that was the last text I received from my daughter on May the 1st, as you can see in it. Toward the end of this video, I'll put the very last communications we had with her. If you want to see that, it's not a very happy note to end on, but it's the way it happened. It's the way it is. I guess everybody knows by now we lost our daughter. It was actually 2 weeks ago today. 2 weeks ago today when she died. It was weird. She died on the very day, 12 weeks to the day from when she first went to the hospital. It was 12 weeks of hell, the whole 3 months, man. I don't know. It's so screwed up. Everything that happened is just so screwed up to me. I mean, man, I've never felt pain or been hurt like this ever before, and I don't think anyone in the family has. Still 2 weeks, today's 2 weeks today. This is May the 18th. It's Wednesday. She died on the 4th, so that's 2 weeks exactly. And it's not gotten any easier, really. You kind of get just numb, like, after a while. I'm not quite there yet, but that's where it's headed. Seems to be where it's headed. Got my old gloves on. I've been working on a surprise for you guys. Hopefully we can get these channels back to normal again now, if nothing else happens. I mean, you guys know about my wife in September, and then losing my mom in October, and now our daughter. Hopefully nothing else will happen. I mean, hopefully this is enough. Hopefully this family has suffered enough now, and we can get back to any kind of normality that might still exist for us, all of us. And all of you that dig these channels and the content I put up and stuff, that's all going to come back, man. Probably sooner than later, because I really need to get my head into something and off of all this shit that happened. Let me just tell you the story of it, okay? I got my own thoughts on the way things went down. My wife sees it different. My son sees kind of both directions, the way I see it and the way she sees it. On the 4th of May, the whole family went up there to visit her. I thought she was doing good. You saw the text that she sent on the 1st of May. And we'd text all day that day. Well, actually, that was the text she sent was in the morning. The day before that, I guess April 30th, we talked all day that day. I told her, I said, the whole family's coming up tomorrow. I'm not coming, though. And she said, fine. And they did. They went up to see her the next morning, the next day. They took them all day, 3 hours to get there. And when they got there, she was on her deathbed, man. She knew everybody, and she could respond. And the thing I want to show you at the end of this video was, like, say, her last communication with the family, anyways. Well, with anybody, because she couldn't talk or anything. When they got there, they left here early that morning, and it takes 3 hours to get there. When they got there, she was on her deathbed. She knew everybody. She was asleep about all the time. They said something about her kidneys looked like were beginning to fail. And they stayed, as long as they could. They thought she was going to die right there while they was there, but she kept waking up and trying to communicate and talk to them and stuff, But like I say, she couldn't actually speak. And as you'll see, she couldn't write either. It just seems so friggin' weird to me. She's been in there up there for 3 months, talked to her every day, visited with her. And like I told you guys before, she was herself. She had her mind. She just couldn't breathe. You know, her lungs were scarred so bad. The doctor told me they had her on 10 liters of oxygen. I've heard of people says they've been on it higher than that. I don't know how you could go any higher than that the way she talked, the doctor, the main doctor. 10 liters of oxygen all the time. Now, before they'd got her down to, they was giving her like 50% oxygen, 60%. One day we went up there and they was giving her 80%. I said, what the hell are you giving her more oxygen for? And you know how doctors and those people talk, man. They can stand and talk to you for 30 minutes to your face and walk away and you don't know what the hell they said. Anything that they said. Anyways, her last few days they kept increasing her oxygen. And I told my wife, I said, her body, Jill's body is going to get used to that. You know, they shouldn't be doing that, I don't think. Of course, who am I to say? I mean, they're in the best facility in the state, man. You would think they know what they're doing. Anyways, when they got up there the day she died, she kept, you know, waking up and trying to communicate with them and stuff. She wanted a Coke, pop, some kind of something to drink. And finally, it got up in the evening pretty late. They decided to leave. It was getting late because they knew it was going to take them at least 3 hours to get home. They wanted to stop and eat, you know, on the way home. They made it home before she died, but the thing I'm going to show you at the end here was just a matter of an hour or maybe an hour and a half before she died was the communication. No, it had to have been longer than that. It had to have been 3 hours, at least 3 hours before she died. But, you know, it just seems weird to me that she got along that good and all of a sudden in one day, man, she's on her deathbed, you know, and her kidneys are failing. She never had any trouble with her kidneys before. The funny thing is, the day the family left and went to visit her, I got a phone call from somebody, a doctor or someone. They said, we're calling to confirm with you we're stopping all of Jill's medicine. I said, what the hell do you mean you're stopping all of her medicine? Nobody said anything about that. That's the very first I heard of it on the phone. The lady she acted real funny after that. She got real quiet for a while, and it was a long time in between when she would say anything. She said, you need to call the hospital and talk to her doctor. I said, okay, I'll do that. As soon as we hung up, I started calling. Never did get a hold of the damn doctor. Never did get a hold of her. My wife didn't know anything about it either. My wife thinks they drugged her up on shit, you know, so she wouldn't panic and all this. And she said she was not panicking. She was actually smiling and seemed happy, you know. She said she had that death look in her eyes, you know, how you get, I saw it in my mother's eyes when she died. I saw that. She raised up once and opened her eyes up, and man, it was like me. I told my wife, I said, it's just like looking death face to face. I could see it in her eyes, man. Some of you may have experienced that before and know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're around somebody and they're very close to dying and they open their eyes, you're going to see it. If you haven't yet, you will if you're looking at them. But my wife said she could see that in Jill's eyes. But she was real aware when she'd wake up. She kept dozing off, but she'd wake up and you know, the little boys laid their head on her and she patted them on the back and stuff. She knew everything, man. But she was so screwed up, she couldn't even write, as you'll see at the end of this video. And then she died. And I haven't found out yet what the hell that woman that called me that day and said, we're calling to confirm we're stopping all of Jill's medicine. Basically taking her off of life support was what she said. Taking the oxygen, taking everything. She pretty much just smothered to death. That's how she died. They stopped giving her any medicine. I guess they gave her medicine, you know, to screw her up, to calm her down, keep her calm or whatever. My wife said that seemed to be working pretty good that day. She was on a pretty hefty trip. But, and of course, you know, without the oxygen, she died. The whole thing, man, is just weird to me. I told my wife, I said, those people are professionals in this. They know what the hell. They can give you something and make your kidney shut down if they want to. My point is, they had her up there for 3 months. Couldn't do anything for her. Her lungs scarred so bad, couldn't fix it. Couldn't do a lung transplant because of all the other blood clots and shit that she had wrong with her. And internal bleeding, I don't know whatever started that. Bleeding around her spleen, or spleen bleeding. Anyway, she had too many things wrong with her to do a lung transplant, and she was too weak for that. She was marked as a donor, and they told me, they said, we're not even going to take, she don't have any parts well enough to donate. So they didn't do an autopsy or anything. You know, just like, you know, get her, freeze her, and get her out of here. That was the impression I got. But 10 liters of oxygen, I don't know how they measure that, but they had Jill set on 100% intake. 100% intake to keep her blood oxygen content up in the 90s. And if she just moved her legs a little bit or kind of tried to turn over or move her arms, she'd get short-winded, you know, she couldn't breathe. She'd start breathing hard and have to lay still, you know, until that built back up. That's how bad her lungs was. Mine's probably going to be that way someday if I keep doing this. Yeah, what I was going to say, they had her on 100% oxygen all the time. They said it was 10 liters. They'd given her 10 liters of oxygen. There's no other place in this state that can support that 24 hours a day. I don't think even support it at all for any amount of time, length of time. So they couldn't send her closer to home. They couldn't send her to rehab. They talked about doing that, but they never did. Couldn't get her oxygen levels, you know, up enough to even move her. You know, and I can't help but think maybe they just got tired of keeping her, you know, keeping her there day after day after day after night. I mean, you know, it's paying somebody's bills. She had insurance, everything was being paid for, most things, not everything. I want to thank you guys that donated to her fundraiser, by the way, while I can think of it, because my brain is fried, man. It's beyond burnt. So if you donated or shared her link, I'm going to share it again with this video, and this will probably be the last time I share it. Those boys, her boys are going to need that. I mean, right now, we got to keep the rent up where they live at, because all their shit's there. I'm not able to move them again. I've moved Jill all over the state, man, over the years of her life. Now I'm too old to do it. I don't know what we're going to do, but, you know, we got to get that stuff out of their house. But until we get to all that done, we got to keep the rent up. So thank you guys from my heart that donated to her fundraiser account. Like I say, I'm going to put a link in with this video on Facebook one more time and share it. And I'll probably, you know, we'll stop talking about it after that. But if you donated or shared that link, if you can't give to it, please share it with everyone you know, and tell them, ask them to please share it with everyone that they know. If you can do that, we would appreciate it. That's about all I can think of. My daughter had a YouTube channel. It's about a year old right now, and it was really taken off. Actually, it was my daughter's and my son's both. They both worked on it. I'll leave a link down here to it if you want to check them out. She hadn't posted video for like a year. She's been having trouble. But there's only like, I think, 3 or 4 videos on there right now. But if you want to look at it, it's real interesting stuff. I'll try to remember and put a link to it. Like I say, my brain's fried. I'm going to take a week probably getting this video up just so I can try to think, and I've got everything on it and link to it that I'm going to do. I've never felt pain like this, folks. If you have children, man, you better go let them know how you feel. And, just hug them. Tell them you love them. Because they can be ripped away. I mean, I never dreamed one of my kids would die before I did. Never dreamed that happened. I knew it happened. I knew people that it happened to. I just never thought it would happen to us, And it did. And it's the most heartbreaking thing that I ever encountered in my life. And I've been here a long time on this planet. So anyways, thank you guys for keeping it here. The videos on the YouTube channels, both of them, the little one first, big one last. If you're subscribed to the big channel, come on over to the little one, sign on there, because that's where all the new videos are going to go first. YouTube's all but killed the big one. As soon as I get my head together and, kind of get through this a little better, more videos, repair videos and stuff like that will go back to the way it was before all this shit began. Thank you guys for everyone if you keep it here. If you're a patron, thank you so much from my heart for keeping it here through all this madness and sickness and death, hospitals and nursing homes, and wow. I just hope to God it ends here for this family, for all of us. Because we've seen our share of it for a while, I think that's all I had. I got a note here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can draw your own conclusion about how Jill went. I'm just telling you the facts as they happen. That's the way they happen. My wife didn't know anything about them stopping Jill's medicine. I don't know where that came from, And I haven't talked to the damn doctor yet. My wife said she called actually today. And she talked to her, but she's not here. And I didn't know she called until just a few minutes ago. I said, you ask her anything? But no. She said was, upset about losing Jill. That's what she said, losing Jill. Well, I've got other ideas. I think she may have had a little bit of a push. I mean, she wasn't going to get better. I understand that. She was not going to get any better. Her lungs were scarred so bad they were not going to heal. She had that MRSA. That's a damn, she had a staph infection she had caught from the hospital. She was already weak when she went in there, and she got the staph infection. And it was, I kept telling my wife, I said, through all this, I said, she's only 41 years old. She's got her age to her advantage. Young people heal better. They do better than old people like me do. But even her age and her advantage didn't help her. It's just weird the way all this happened. I'm still looking into it. I'm going to continue to look into it. I'm going to look into it deep. When I get my head screwed half-assed back on again and can actually think clearly again, I'm going to look very deep into it. I want all of her records. I want everything that was written down, drawn, or typed during those 3 months she was up there. And I'll have people that know a lot more than I do to look at that shit, see what they find. I'll keep you informed if anything comes up. Well, something's going to come up. I don't know when. It may be years. I'll stay with it that long, if that's how long it takes. Anyways, thank you guys for keeping it here. Thank you for your donations. And hopefully, before too long now, both YouTube channels will get back to normal. And then we'll start doing some guitar work and stuff again. And I got a surprise coming for you. I've been telling you that for months. I haven't got to work on it like I could have, or should have rather. But it's coming. Stay tuned for it. Okay, here's the very last thing that Jill said before she died. She wanted something, okay? Got her a piece of paper and a pen. And here's what she wrote. She wanted a Coke, is what she wanted, a Coke and ice. And you could see she was pretty fucked up.